Hey guys, it's actually Thursday evening. I think it's probably around about 9 o'clock, something like that. And I just wanted to come out and have a little bit of a walk. And it's been one of those weeks, where you get into some of those weeks where you're not, your head might not be there or something. And I think 4th of July might have put me out a little bit. Not that I didn't enjoy 4th of July, that's not it. It just puts your week out. It just, like today, I was talking about Saturday. My daughter said it's Friday tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, I completely forgot. But I just wanted to put a shout out to people, if you're finding it a little bit hard right now, or you're in those areas where you can't, you're a little bit lost, or the first thing is to turn to yourself. Always turn to self and what you can do about that. And there's some things that I teach my guys and tell my guys, and with different ways of going about that. But it's all about turning to you at that point. And otherwise, your mind is racing and it's going everywhere it possibly can, because it starts snowballing and just ricocheting off one another, your thoughts. So it's about awareness, it's about understanding that it's there. It's about being okay with it being there, which is acceptance. But the other thing is just bring to mind, what where we're actually living on this earth, and what the universe is out there. There's some facts out there that are kind of crazy. I was watching this video, and he's an astronomer, this guy, and I finds out that he's a professor in a university, that he teaches this, and he's just got his home set up, and like our next door neighbour, he's got a really nice little setup with a computer and I've been over there and watched some of the stuff that he's looking at, and he's like taking shots, and some of the shit that he's looking at is amazing. But I was watching this guy last night, and he was actually not last night, yesterday, and I've got to run, and so I'm watching. He's got one of those filters on so you can look at the sun, and it's funny because I was watching it, I think it was last night, and I'm wondering, he must be in a different state or something. But anyway, he's looking at the sun with one of those filters. Obviously, otherwise, don't go out there and start looking. Even with binoculars, you're going to do your eyes in. And I've actually looked at the sun. I was down at the Science Centre that's in Orlando. I don't know if you can see that light show going off behind me, but I'll stand here so you can see it. And they had telescopes out there and looking at the sun. And I walked out on this balcony, and this guy says, "You want to have a look?" And I'm like, "Heck yeah!" And I could see like little flares and this just ball of just energy. It's amazing to look at. You wouldn't think that you could look at the sun, but you can with the proper people showing you how to do it. By the way, don't just go out there and start looking at shit. That's really dangerous. Don't mess around with that. But anyway, so the first thing is to see that is amazing, because you're looking at your own sun, your own energy source. And then so this guy I was looking at last night, they had a sun filter on. There was this it looked like little. Like it looked like a hole down in the bottom, and I can't remember what he said it was in the sun, but he said you could fit, I think it was 45 Earths inside that hole, which I'm like, so that freaking sun must be. And then you can fit 1.3 million Earths inside the sun. So that gives you a little bit of representation of how big that freaking thing is, right? It's just a massive ball of energy. And it's basically keeping us alive, really. I mean, amongst other things, of course. But I mean, we wouldn't have crops or anything. I mean, we rely on that. We rely on that ball of energy. We absolutely rely on that ball of energy. And it's the same thing for yourselves. Rely on your own energy. Start. Look within. Look within. When you get into those areas, just look within. And another good fact here is that massive ball of energy that you can fit 1.3 million Earths inside of it. It still takes 8 minutes and 20 seconds for the rays of the sun to reach Earth. Think about that. Think of the size of that, and it still takes 8 minutes 20 seconds for those sun rays to get to Earth. That's amazing to me. It blows my mind, and it kind of brings me to reality of like, oh, I wonder if you can see that. It kind of brings you to a bit of a reality and a bit of a perspective of who we are. And yeah, just I know it's difficult, and I know it can get hard, and I know there's those times when we're like, oh Lord, what do I do here? But it's a matter of just, like I say, stay the course, yeah? When these ships get into these really, really rough storms, and there's no way of going around it. They'll try and go around it first, of course, but if there's no way of going around it, you'll hear that guy on that ship say, stay the course. And then they just ride that storm, basically. I remember my dad was in the Royal Navy during the war, and then he joined the commandos. But I remember him telling me when I was a kid, I remember him saying about the waves, because he was on an aircraft carrier. And I remember him saying that the waves, when you was in a storm, he said they could be like 20 feet or so above your head. And then all of a sudden you're looking down on it because the ship is just going, that's nuts. But you know what? The ship gets through. Yeah, it gets through to the other side. And that's what it's all about. That's why I say stay the course. That's why I say that. Because yeah, we hit some storms. We hit some freaking major shit storms sometimes. And we don't know where we're at. It's just like this week. I was a bit like, it's kind of a bit weird, I don't know. It was just a bit weird. And I think with all the news that's going on as well, which I pretty much shy away from if I can, but every now and again I just throw it on just to keep abreast of what's going on. And I tell you, all it is just shit. It's just a shit show. It literally is. It's just a shit show. I mean, the things you're hearing and that, it's like, why would I put my mind there? But it's good to just keep abreast of that shit, keeping up with the news, But yeah, stay the course, guys. Be the sun. Massive ball of energy, because that's what you are. And if you go back and if you go onto my website, mindnutritionforall.com, mind nutrition and the number 4 all.com. I've got blogs on there, and there's one it's called Be the Oak, and I got a lot of feedback on that one, because it's basically about looking at yourself as like an oak tree, and going through the weathers and stuff like that, and struggling and as an acorn through the ground. And it's just like, growing up and some of those times when we get into those areas and we're struggling, and it's like, you break through, you get there in the end. Just remember who you are, and then look up, because that's what I do when I'm out here. I look up, and it's a bit cloudy tonight, but seeing that ball of energy going off in those clouds over there is amazing to me. It's like, be present with that stuff. Yeah, don't take it for granted. Learn about it. What is that? Yeah, don't just say, it's heat lightning. Yeah, it's heat lightning and it's amazing, but it's like, it's energy. It's literally electricity going through the clouds and sky. It's amazing. So, you will get through. You'll get through. Just if you need help, if you need to stretch out a hand, if you need, I'm one of those people that helps people. And help guide people in the right I say right directions. It's up to the person to do the work. But I like to work with people to have them see a different approach in a different way, and to take note of these kind of things that we're surrounded by. You're not a victim of your environment. You're a victim of your mind that's reacting to the environment. Stay the course, guys. Namaste.